Commercial software application components part 2. Do you need these in your side projects? What about documentation? In the commercial world, documentation is super critical. You may need to onboard a new employee and they'll need to know how to use the system and set it up. You may have an employee leave and you don't want to lose their knowledge. You want the team to be able to continue to develop. You'll not even want to waste the team's time working on something that doesn't have a business case. So before you ever touch code, you're going to be starting with a PRD, business justification, and then you might go into a design doc if it's a large system change. A lot of this is not necessary for your side projects because typically you're going to be a solo developer. Yes, if you're trying to encourage contributions from others, making a contributing markdown file is a great practice. But for the most part, you only really need one thing, and that is a well-written README. Even if you're a solo developer on a side project, a README is a high value activity for you because someone will come review your portfolio and they may not have an interest to download the system, get it running, and interact with it. So they might just look at the README. And so you're gonna wanna have a well-written README that can show, hey, not only do I know what I'm doing technically, but I can also communicate. So communication, soft skills are one of those underrated things by developers. Alongside the README, try to have a deployed form of your project on that GitHub repo. Another item is a formatter. This one I think is a no-brainer. Yes, you should have a formatter in your code. I also recommend you set up your IDE with format on save. This is gonna give you a couple benefits. Number one, the code is more readable for you. Number two, if someone comes and audits your portfolio, it looks nicer for them. So it's a high ROI. It's not much effort to get a formatter working. And number three, it will help you detect bugs in your own code. So you might notice that if there's an error, a syntax error in your code, the formatter is not capable of reshaping that code. And when you save, you will not get the snap of the line of code where it executes the format on save for you. And so this is like a developer feedback trick where you can actually improve your productivity through the use of this formatter alongside the IDE with the format on save. Highly recommend it. I'll specifically recommend Prettier for web development and then the rough linter over the black linter for Python projects. Item 3, what about integration testing? I don't think you need this. In the previous video, I said I don't think you need unit testing. I also don't think you need integration testing. In side projects, we will typically test using manual verification in its place. Not only are integration tests labor intensive and we're trying to move fast in a side project, in addition, integration tests get their value testing system to system communication, and side projects just typically don't have this. They're typically monolithic applications. So that's been 6 of these 10 commercial applications. Follow for part 3 and we'll knock out the remainder. 10 commercial application components. Do you need them in your side projects?